So, Joe, I just found out that we've been left included in the will. Somebody is leaving us their estate when they pass away. Now what do I do?
Exactly. What do you do, David?
I don't know. If I knew what to do, I wouldn't be asking you.
You sound like
Henny Youngman. Take me to the Borscht Belt, please.
Well, didn't your
Take my wife,
didn't your
please.
manager tell you that? What to do? You don't have a process?
We don't have a process. I mean, we don't know. I don't know what to do.
Not uncommon. If it makes you feel any better, it's very common with charities that we see over and over again. There's no onboarding process to bring someone on as a Legacy Society member. And you should have one. And it doesn't have to be overly complicated. It's a process so that we know, and every gift officer or board member or anyone that's out there speaking with donors, when a donor says, "You're in my will, I never told you," most likely because no one ever asked, right?
That's probably true.
I'm not preaching, but that is the reality.
Ask, because if you don't, somebody else will.
Check out our Ask video. Or they might say that, you know what, it's a good time to be talking about this because I am getting a new job and I need to fill out my beneficiary form for my retirement plan, right? What happens? What's the donor experience? You go back to the office. Who do you tell? How do you record that in your database? And then what happens with the donor? First of all, you have a Legacy Society, and I love your approach, and you taught me this years ago. I used to ask donors if they would like to be in our Legacy Society.
Yeah, and I take the opposite approach. You tell me you're in your estate is for my charity, you're automatically in my Legacy Society. I give you the option to opt out.
I love that, and I've started to do that. And I've never had a donor since then say, "What is this? How dare you put me in this society?" So a welcome kit, right?
Right.
And I assume what we do is, my clients, we have well, they're your clients too, but what I do with my direct donor work is give them the opt-out in the welcome kit. Welcome to the Legacy Society. If for any reason you don't want to be part of this, you can be a member, but remain anonymous. Say that 3 times. Remain anonymous, right? But if you don't want to be a member, just fill out check this opt-out box, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And it's also a good opportunity because a lot of times we're trying to find out how much they've included the charity in the will for. That's one of the biggest questions we get asked a lot is, they don't want to tell us. How do you find out? And there's some people that will not face-to-face tell you, but I send that welcome letter, and in there is a card that you fill out for your opt-out. Also important on that card is I include a space that says, who are we recognizing? Is it you and your spouse, or is it basically just you? Because I don't know how many times we've recognized, say, the donor that's been involved with the charity, and it turns out we're in both wills and it doesn't work unless we are, and the wife feels included too, and we've slighted them then. So it gives them that opportunity. But it also has a check the box of, is it in your will, a trust, a life insurance policy, a 401, a retirement fund plan? How are you designating it? And then it asks, is there a particular area? And it also asks amount. And it always surprises me that person that will not tell me face-to-face will fill in that card and write the amount down and write the area they want it to go to. So it just gives us an opportunity, again, to steward the gift at that point.
And you brought up a really good point. People think just because you're not ready to document, right, keyword, your intention today, it doesn't mean that you won't be a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now, right? So maybe I haven't built up enough trust and rapport with you if we just kind of met.
Yeah.
Maybe, and I hear this a lot from recent retirees, I just retired, and for the first time in 40 years, I'm not getting a paycheck, and I'm really nervous, and I don't know what my financial situation is. So this is really, I'll tell you that I've done something, or I'll put you there, but I'm not willing to really talk into too much details until I figure out
what life's going to take me to.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
So don't take the first, just like anything in fundraising, don't take the first no as no never, but maybe no, not right now. So big point.
Right. So we get them in the Legacy Society, and we have that documented. And if you have a procedure or policy, how to document it into your data collecting software, be it Razor's Edge or Advance or Banner or whatever you're using, what's the next step?
Well, what does the donor receive? They should get they should get a phone call. And depending on the size of your organization and your leadership, I think it could be from a grateful patient. It could be from someone who benefits from the intention. I think the CEO, if you're in a really big organization, is the CEO of University of Pennsylvania going to call somebody that puts them in for $5,000? Probably not, right? But somebody should be calling, I think, other than my opinion, and everybody has their own approach. But someone pick up the phone, call them, send a letter, send a handwritten note card, and have a process in your database to make sure that I think you should be calling these people at least twice a year, and to make sure that they're happy.
So as part of that is the stewardship plan. As part of your onboarding process, you actually should have a stewardship plan. Because the reality is, if somebody leaves you in their estate and you say thank you, and that's the last time they hear from that organization, that wonderful welcome letter, and they don't hear from you for 20 years, 10 years, the odds of you still being in there are zero. And from that standpoint, as part of that onboarding process, and the key word there is process, the process should include a process for stewarding over the lifetime of that gift, which is, could be 20, 30 years.
And I like to add stewarding and cultivating.
Yeah.
Another huge point that gift officers forget or don't think about is that first commitment doesn't have to be the last. So I'll give a quick personal example. My wife Lorraine and I have my university, St. Joe's University, in our plans, and it started out with a really small commitment, 10% of an old 401k or old IRA that I have. I don't use it anymore, but it sits there, and I've never bothered to
consolidate
it in my personal 401k I have now. So 10% was not a big deal. We had a life-triggering event, right, which we talk about a lot, is always have your radar out for donors' life-triggering events. Something's happening, which are what? New baby, retiring, widowed, divorce,
new job, sale of company,
sale of
other assets.
Right? So keep those big ears and big eyes open for life-triggering events. So our life-triggering event was my sister was an alum. She passed away.
So she was a health issue, basically.
Right? And we know how emotional that is when we lose a loved one. She was an educator, and we thought, boy, wouldn't it be really cool if we could do an endowed scholarship at the university? And so we went to them and said, I'm pretty sure if I give you all of that IRA to make your minimum endowment level requirement, that we can endow a scholarship in her memory when Lorraine and I both pass, which we were able to do, right? So my whole point, a couple of things, is it went from a really small, it was like $5,000 commitment, to an endowed scholarship. And for modest means donors, that's huge for us, right? And it was all a result of a life-triggering event. And they did a good job of stewarding us as well.
That was the real question, is did they steward you along the way until that life-triggering event unfortunately happened?
Right.
In your case, and the answer is yes.
Yeah, as opposed to, Joe and Lorraine have us in their plans, but it's $5,000 and whatever. We'll invite them to the breakfast every year, but...
Thank you, we'll see you in 30 years.
Exactly, right? So that's a really big point. And so, to summarize, have a written process. Have a written process, I think, for everything that you do. Make sure that everyone in the office knows this is the process so that all donors are getting the same donor experience, that they are not only stewarded, but cultivated as well for those that want to be cultivated, right? And it's just going to lead to less work, less aggravation, less confusion. Well, what's going on? Hey, did we ever send that letter? I don't know. Did they ever get a letter? Right? Have a written process. So, if you would like help, can we help people with written process?
We can help.
We can.
We have a written process we can help you with.
Exactly. And or any other aspect of your program, major or gift planning program that you want to get to the next level.
Yes.
How would someone...
I don't know, Joe. How would someone? I always leave this to you.
Thank you for asking.
I'm waiting to see if you mess it up.
Well, the website is giftplanningdevelopment.com. You know that one. Giftplanningdevelopment.com.
Sure, that's the website.
I am positive as of today. And they can reach us by via email at info@giftplanningdevelopment.com or by phone.
They could call toll.
Old school, right? No. Toll free. Oh, nice. 610-653-7906. And I'm Joe.
And I'm David. Toll.
And we are Gift Planning Development. Say goodbye.
Goodbye.